Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Um, for class this week, what's been on my heart is this realization that we embrace unknowns every day when we wake up. Even if our life is pretty routine, we still can't predict everything that will fall onto our path any given day. And recently I was kind of stepping into some opportunities and some things that scared me, some things that felt like they were way outside of what I am capable of right now. And I had this realization that, you know, the unknowns are these beautiful opportunities. And whenever we begin something or we try something, we start with not enough knowledge to understand that thing fully. And so that openness that this practice offers, the openness of heart and mind that we can receive from stepping onto our yoga mat and trusting in the unknown, is really valuable. And I think it is one of those practices that begins here in these 60 minutes, or when we move our bodies and we trust a teacher to guide us, that really is actually giving us an opportunity to trust in ourselves and to trust in the world, and to trust that outside of the little rectangle it is our yoga mat, this openness and willingness to learn and willingness to step into what is unknown and a territory that might be intimidating is really just beginning right here in these 60 minutes. And so for your practice today, just trust in your body. If there are these little really subtle and maybe quiet calls to change something, trust that intuition. Give yourself that permission to believe that the teacher within you is incredibly wise, and that sometimes it's not that we don't have the knowledge or the intellect or the skill yet, it's just that we don't trust that it's already there. And so we're going to start in a little bit of meditation. You can feel free to start in a seat or lying on the earth. That's what we'll eventually move from, is Shavasana, so feel free to begin there as well, whatever feels most grounding. And then just take a moment to get really comfortable, settling into wherever it is that your body creates contact with the earth. As you allow your eyes to close and your jaw to relax. Right away, take a deep breath in, see your nose nice and full. And an open mouth exhale to release. And then allow your breath to expand. And that more expansive breath in, allow your exhales to begin to lengthen. And through the deepening of your breath, can you feel a deepening in the connection, the awareness of your body? Starting to tune into those subtler sensations, from crown to toes. Maybe starting to notice some more subtle sounds around you through this heightened awareness. And just noticing. And if your mind feels full, or maybe there's a little bit of buzzing energy in your body, traces of anxiety or fear, or anything that feels a little bit overwhelming, you can think of this energy as like sand when it gets kicked up from the bottom of the ocean. Right? Something comes along that causes some turbulence and some chaos, and that sand gets kicked up. But eventually the sand will settle back down to the ocean floor. And trusting that our energy is the same, right? Things will come along that stir our energy up and cause sensation and emotion and story within our mind. Those sensations and those emotions and those stories, they will change and shift, and the sand will settle back to the bottom of the ocean floor. So allowing every breath to be this invitation to settle. Every slow breath out, helping to return a sense of inner peace and calm to your body and your heart and your mind. Through this practice, we learn how to find a sense of peace, which is not necessarily that the world around us is balanced and steady and working as we desire it to. It's that even amongst any sort of chaos or transition and change, we can find a sense of inner peace inside of ourselves, within our own being. So again, allowing your practice to be about trust and trusting in yourself, trusting in all that you are capable of, trusting that in moments when the sand gets kicked up, it will eventually settle back down. Your next inhale, let your breath become a little bit fuller and more expansive once again. Then maybe an open mouth exhale to release. Just two more like that. A deep breath in through your nose. And cleansing exhale as you're ready. And one more time, really deep and wide breath in. And empty that whole breath out. Starting to breathe through your nose, your Ujjayi Pranayama. Go ahead and find your way to your back body into a full body stretch. Just take your time to get there. Start to reach your hands overhead. Give yourself a moment to spread your fingers and your toes, circle your ankles, your wrists, checking in. And then eventually when you're ready, you're going to start to bring your knees into your body. And just give yourself a big hug to your heart. You take a little rock from side to side, maybe circle your knees a little bit to massage your low back across the earth. And then start to interlace both your hands onto your right shin and extend your left leg out to wind removing pose. You see how it feels to flex your left foot and reach energy forward through your left heel. And that length along your back body, take a breath in. And exhale, find your supine twist, right knee tips across you. And maybe you think about your right knee and your right shoulder moving in opposite directions, stretching away from the midline to create a deeper rinse and rotation through your center. And just take one more breath here and inhale, reaches along your right side, providing a little bit more space. On your exhale, maybe feel your navel pull to your spine, a little bit of a rinse at the center. And then find your way back to wind removing pose. So as you roll onto your back body, right knee draws into your body again. Keep your right hand on your right shin and let your left hand go to your left hip to anchor your left hip down. And start to open your right knee to the right a little bit, like a supine half frog shape. And open through your right hip. And then your right hand will help guide you into a figure four, right ankle on your left thigh. Then your left foot can land to the earth, and maybe thread the needle and reach your hands around your left hamstring. As you continue to flex your right ankle, maybe a little rock from side to side. And then from here, we're going to make our way into wind removing pose, second side. So release your right leg forward and release your hands onto your left shin. Send some energy out through your right heel as you pull your left thigh in close. Breathe to your belly. And then supine twist, left knee is going to tip across you now to the right. And again, think about reaching your left knee and your left shoulder in opposite directions, helping to facilitate that really deep twist. You start breathing a little bit more to the back of your body as well. You can start to use more and more of your lung capacity to provide your body with more and more oxygen. Back to wind removing pose, bring it through center. And since you know where we're headed now, you can right away take your left hand to your left shin, right hand anchors your right hip, and then let your left knee fall open any amount to the left. A little bit of a froggy shape for your left hip. And then this will prepare us for our figure four. Take your left ankle to stack onto your right thigh. And just deciding on the depth that feels good for you. Energizing your left ankle. Maybe sway from right to left a little bit. Or if stillness feels more grounding, just stay at center and take 1 to 2 more breaths. And then from your figure four, making your way into a bridge pose. Right foot arrives to the earth, left foot arrives to the earth. Take a nice big breath in and follow your exhale to lift your pelvis up. And I like to add in bridge poses here at the beginning of practice as a sense of grounding. So don't worry about how high your hips are. Think about that connection to the earth, feeling the 4 corners of your feet root strongly into the ground below. Feeling how that rooted energy creates this upward energy through your hips. Then feel your knees stretch forward. Create as much space as you can between your rib cage and your pelvis. Through front and back body. Taking 1 more breath here. Maybe driving through your heels a little bit more to feel the strength at your seat and through your hamstrings. And then slow motion, start to lower all the way down. Allow your hips to arrive back to the earth. And then bring your knees into an upside down tabletop so your knees are in a 90-degree bend. Flexing through your feet. Pull your navel super strongly to your spine so your low back is anchored to the earth. Feel your front ribs hugging down to the ground as well. Then reach your hands up to the sky, palms will face in. Now we're going to move opposites together. So on your inhale, begin to lengthen your left leg forward and reach your right hand overhead. So opposites extend, pull your navel down as you reach. Then super slow motion from your core, exhale back to start, left knee to 90 and right hand to the sky. We'll just alternate, so navel to spine, breathe your right leg forward, slowly reach your left hand overhead. Trying to control this from your deepest core center. And exhale slowly back to start. Right knee 90, left hand to the sky. We'll switch again, breathe in, left leg lengthens, right hand reaches. Pull your front ribs to the earth, and on your exhale, use your core to guide you back to start. Then breathe in, right leg's gonna reach, left arm lengthens overhead. Navel to spine, exhale back to start. 1 more round through each side. Inhale your left leg forward, your right hand overhead. Keep pulling your front ribs and navel to the earth. Then exhale slowly back to start, trying to isolate this to your core strength. Final 1, keeping your low back anchored, reach your right leg forward, left hand overhead, breath in. And exhale back to start. Let your knees fall into your chest. And start to make your way up to your tabletop pose, all fours. So you can rock and roll the length of your spine, or just tip over to either side. Once you find all fours, fingers nice and wide, go ahead and start to inhale to a cow shape when you're ready. Let your breath lift your heart and your tailbone to the ceiling. And then on your exhale, we'll round your spine, cat pose, let your head and your tailbone tuck. Just one more time, inhale, cow pose, heart and tailbone lift. And exhale, cat pose, we round through our spine, push the earth away, super strong. Then inhale to your cow last time. This time we're gonna go to puppy pose or anahatasana, so hips stay high. Walk your hands forward and then begin to sink your chest down to the earth. You can bring your forehead or your heart to your mat. As you drop your heart low, though, think about reaching your hip creases up and back, so you're creating length in your body as well. Then start to push through your hands, slowly lift up and return to tabletop pose, all fours. We're gonna inhale and reach our right hand to the sky, preparing for thread the needle. Twist your heart open to the right. Then on your exhale, dive your right arm underneath your body, bringing your right temple to the earth. Keep your left hand where it is, framing your face. And then press to the back of your right arm, sliding your shoulders out of your ears. If you want a little bit of a balance challenge, engage your belly and send your left leg up and back. Try to keep your hips square for this. Feeling your core super strong here in some kind of deceptively challenging core engagement. And then if your left leg is lifted, you're going to keep it lifted. If it's not lifted yet, no worries. Everyone pushing through your left hand that's framing your face, we're going to lift up to a spinal balance. So strong through your belly, slowly lift up, reach your right hand forward. And if your left leg is not already lifted, go ahead and lift your left leg. Take a big breath in, reach long, and just stay right here as you exhale. And pulling your navel in so your core is challenging your left glute strength. One more breath in for reaching. And then one time on your exhale, start to round, bring elbow towards knee, curl, 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 engaging through your center. And inhale, lengthen back out just for a moment. And tabletop pose, release. Next breath in, we're gonna lift to the left. So second side, breathing in, lift to the left, heart opens up. And exhale, thread your needle, left arm dives underneath. Again, slide your shoulders away from your ears, but keep your right hand framing your face. Perhaps you engage your belly to send your right leg up and back. Take one more moment here, maybe sending your breath to the back of your heart now. As you let up through your center, if your right leg is lifted, keep it lifted. As you push through your right hand, you're slowly going to send your left hand forward, spinal balance. Begin to lift your right leg if you don't already have it lifted, and then pull your navel in so strong. Don't worry about how high your right leg is. If your core is super active, it shouldn't probably be higher than your hip at all. So lower is sometimes better. Feel your navel draw in as you reach a little bit further. Think about the length. Try to bring your left hip a little bit more over your left knee. And then one time, bring elbow and knee together, push the earth away, rounding your spine like a cat. Navel to the sky, and then breathe in to re-extend just for a moment. The tabletop pose, find all fours. Tuck your toes underneath with your breath, and downward facing dog, send your hips up and back. Just allow your head to hang heavy here. Extend one heel to the earth and then the other. Trying to create more length through your torso and through your hamstrings. And then walk forward, finding your forward fold, top of your yoga mat. Maybe a pretty generous bend through your knees as your head hangs heavy to the earth. Tailbone lengthens up to the sky.
And shift a little bit forward and back, just transferring your weight between the fronts and backs of your feet. Finding that sweet spot where you fold a little bit deeper and you find that bigger stretch to the backs of your legs. From there, inhale to a halfway lift. Keep leaning slightly forward in your feet as you lengthen through your heart. And exhale, forward fold, dive down. We'll breathe in and rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, deep inhale to the top. And exhale, forward fold, soft knees, hinge back to the earth. Halfway lift, initiate from your breath and from your core as you extend. And then step your left foot to the back of your yoga mat, so you're in a nice long low lunge. Make sure your right knee's over your ankle and then dip your left knee to a hover. Cow lunge, stretch your heart rate far forward. Take an extra breath here. And then cat lunge, lengthen out through your legs. Really encourage your right hip up and back, left hip hugs forward. And think about the extension of your heart. Reach your heart towards the top of your yoga mat as well. Go ahead and bend both of your knees. Bring your left knee to the earth this time. Really strong push through your right foot, lifting through your heart and hands as you gather up. Right hand's going to grab your left wrist. Take a side bend over to the right. Now pull your front ribs in and then encourage your elbows slightly back and your chin off your chest. From here, reach your hands to the sky and bring your hands then down to the earth. Lift your back knee off your yoga mat and find your high plank pose. Right foot joins your left. Pausing here just to set up your plank, really active through your quadriceps, engage your thighs, pressing through your hands so your navel lock up to your spine. And then we'll inhale to shift forward. And as slowly as you can, exhale to your belly. Try to keep length from your crown of your head to your elbows. Quadriceps strong as you release to the earth. And then untuck your toes. Inhale to a low or a high cobra. So you choose low or high. And your exhale, lower back down. Now stack your hands underneath your forehead, like a belly down Shavasana. And then you're going to keep your forehead and the backs of your hands connected. Press your toenails into the earth. Pull your navel way up to your spine. Take a breath in. And on exhale, lift your upper back. So forehead and backs of hands stay connected like belly down Shavasana. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Elbows are wide and high. Long through the nape of your neck. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, release. We'll do that same thing one more time. Inhale to prepare. On your exhale, lift. So you're just in an elevated belly down Shavasana shape, elbows wide, strong through your upper back. Take an extra breath in and release when you're ready. Now sliding your hands back by your low ribs, go ahead and inhale to an upward facing dog, unless you prefer to return to cobra. And then we'll go back to downward facing dog, hips return to the sky. And then inhale, lift your heels up tall. On your exhale, find your forward fold. You can step or hop to the top of your yoga mat. Bending over your thighs for a moment. Listen for an inhale to lift up halfway. Lengthen out again. And exhale, forward fold, release. Rise all the way to stand. Your breath will lift you up. And then let your exhale guide you right back down, forward fold. Half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, deep breath in. And then right foot to the back of your yoga mat, low lunge, second side. And wiggle your left foot forward so it's stacked beneath your knee, and let your right knee come to a hover. Really draw your sternum forward through your biceps. Your right heel stretches back. Take one more inhale. And then cat lunge, lengthens through your legs. And think about the length of your spine as well as your heart reaches forward. Your right forward, left hip back, feeling that squareness, that strong energy at your pelvis. Then bend into your knees, release your right knee to the ground, and press through your left foot to lift up through your heart and hands. This time your left hand's gonna grab your right wrist, tip over to your left to find your side body stretch. Really draw into your front line. Chin off chest, shoulders out of ears, opening up. Your inhale, lengthen you through center, release your hands to the earth. And as you lift your back knee, high plank pose, left foot steps to meet your right. We're gonna inhale to shift forward, knees up or down, lower with control to the earth. So your goal is to go super slow motion. That might mean that you bring your knees to the ground so you can focus on the pace. As you arrive to the earth, untucking your toes, inhale to a low or high cobra. On your exhale, return back to the belly and then set up for your Gecko Pose. Take your hands wider than your yoga mat. Have your hands back about in line with your nipple. And so nipple line is like a little bit further back than shoulders, yeah? As you tighten your fingertips, slide your elbows forward over your wrists, pull your shoulders way out of your ears. Big breath in, lift your heart up. You can use your hands to push the earth away if you want. On your exhale, dip your left shoulder in, look over to the right. From here, you'll breathe in, back to your center. And exhale, second side, right shoulder dips in, gazing to the left. And then inhale up to your center. And exhale back to your belly. Headed to upward facing dog, hands by your low ribs now, inhale to lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Then from your down dog, next breath in, we're gonna lift our right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Try to keep your hips square so you get a bigger stretch to the back of your left leg. And exhale, take your right knee towards your left tricep, crossing underneath your body. Right knee to your right tricep on your inhale. And then back to your left tricep as you exhale. Three-legged dog, send your right leg to the sky. And then bend your knee and open through your hip. Hug your heel in towards your glute and use your right seat to really lift your right knee to the sky and to lift and open your right hip point. Take a giant step forward with your right foot to the top of your yoga mat. And then turn all 10 toes to the left and bend into your left knee for your side lunge. So stay in a side lunge rather than sinking to Skandasana for now. Take your right hand to the earth and twist your left hand to the sky. Heart opens to the left. Take a big breath in through your left fingertips. On your exhale, you're gonna wrap yourself up. So take your left hand, dive it underneath your ribcage, reach way far forward towards the front of your yoga mat. You might even feel like a squeeze at your left pec and bicep if you lift your bicep towards your sternum. And then peel back, open heart to the back of your yoga mat. I'm going to turn to our left, so low lunge to the back of the yoga mat. Make sure your feet are hips distance apart. Then press to your feet and find airplane arms. You're going to elevate your heart off your left thigh. Send your airplane wings back beside you. Just taking a pause in your airplane lunge. Press to your feet. With your inhale, rise up to your high crescent. On your breath out, go ahead and prayer twist your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Feel a slight energetic widening at your knees. Try to create some space between your belly and your left thigh as you pull your heart away from your left thigh a little bit. Big push through your feet. We're going back to our high crescent lunge on a breath in. And then goddess your arms as you breathe out. Good, reach your hands to the sky. And then go ahead and bring your hands down to the earth. Using your core, three-legged dog, pull from your center, lift your left leg up and back. Find your inhale, square through your hips. And then left knee, right tricep cross underneath with your exhale, shoulders out of ears. Left knee goes to left tricep, breath in. And to your right tricep again as you breathe out. Three-legged dog, reach your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. Okay, strong through your left glute, strong through your belly. And then giant step forward, left foot to the top of your yoga mat. Pivot all 10 toes to your right and bend your right knee for your side lunge. Adding in the twist, left hand goes low, turn your heart to your bent right knee as you sweep your right hand to the sky. So your hip creases pull back and your ribcage pull forward. So you're creating more and more space along your spine, and breathe in. Wrap your right arm underneath your ribcage, really reach. To pull your bicep up towards your chest a little bit, feeling that squeeze of bicep and pec. And then turn open again to the top of your yoga mat. Low lunge to the front of your yoga mat, all 10 toes rotate. Once your feet are hips distance apart, press your feet and find your airplane arms. Really lift your heart off your right thigh. You're trying to create this long line of diagonal energy from crown to left heel. As you drive through your feet, breathe into your high crescent, rise up, reach up. Keeping your left leg super active, prayer twist your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Think lengthen forward and then across. And really push the earth away through your feet as you rotate your heart open. And as you continue to push through your feet, that's the energy that will bring you slowly back to center. High crescent lunge, deep breath. Goddess, your arms on your exhale, opening your chest back up. And breathe your hands back to the sky. And exhale your hands to the earth. High plank pose, right foot steps back to meet your left. On your inhale, shift forward. Knees up or down, slowly lower all the way to the ground with control. Again, the goal is to go slow. As you untuck your toes at the bottom, inhale low or high cobra. On your exhale, release back to the earth. Adding in here, you're gonna go to Sphinx pose next. So it's kind of a clunky transition. Walk your elbows to stack directly beneath your shoulders. I'm gonna go ahead and take off my sweatshirt while you do that. And with your elbows directly beneath your shoulders, you wanna make sure that your upper arm bone is perpendicular to the earth and stacked right beneath your shoulder. That's going to be the most stable. And then from there, you're in your Sphinx pose. Think about pulling your elbows to your belly or to your hip points. Nice and proud through your chest. You can stay here if you'd like a little bit more effort in the shape. Tuck your toes underneath for forearm plank. Take a big breath in. And exhale, forearm plank, zip up to your center. Keep squeezing to the midline with your elbows. Imagine you're holding a yoga block between your biceps. Quads are strong, seat is strong, your heart is reaching slightly forward to your fingertips. Keep pushing the earth away as you take one more full cycle of breath. Good, last inhale here wherever you are. And exhale, we'll all join in Sphinx pose, hips to the earth. Untuck your toes. Release to a belly down Shavasana. Let your elbows go wide, lower down. Just take a big breath in. Maybe a cleansing breath out of your mouth. Hands back by your low ribs. You're going to inhale to an upward facing dog. Lift your heart, lengthen your spine. And then downward facing dog, pull your pelvis back to the sky. A big breath in again. Maybe open mouth, exhale again. And inhale to send your right leg to the ceiling. On your breath out, take your right knee towards your left tricep underneath your body. And then take your right knee to your right tricep on your inhale. To your left tricep again on your exhale. Fall in triangle, reach your right leg through and spin open. Left heel finds the earth. Left hand reaches to the sky. Take a breath at the top. You're going to thread your left hand underneath your right ribs as you breathe out. So you're reaching towards the wall behind your heart. Breathe in to peel back open left hand of the sky. We'll return to a three-legged dog. Bend your left hand, use your core to sweep your right leg up. Bend your knee and open your hip just for a moment. And then take a big step forward, right foot to the top of your yoga mat. Find your warrior two, let your left heel press into the earth, and then root through your feet and rise all the way. Now just give yourself one full cycle of breath to be right here. Okay. Continue to become heavy through your right thigh bone, and inhale, reverse your warrior. Right heel reaches up and back. With your exhale, side angle, tip forward, lengthen your left hand to the sky. This one more round, inhale to reverse your warrior. And then exhale, side angle, or maybe even extended side angle. Your left hand might sweep overhead. This time reverse your triangle, deep breath in, rise up and out. And then as you turn all 10 toes forward, star pose, open up, reach high. And soften your knees, hinging forward to your forward fold, your wide-legged forward fold. So allow your head to be heavy. We're just here for our breath. Maybe tip a little bit more into the fronts of your feet. And then inhale to lift and lengthen halfway. Moving with your exhale, low lunge to the back of your yoga mat, all 10 toes pivot. Once your feet are hips distance apart, press through your feet, find your airplane arms again. So collarbones wide, you're at a 45-degree angle from crown to heel. Now you're gonna keep this hinge in your body. If it's available to you, you're gonna circle sweep your hands overhead into what I call a reaching crescent. So almost like the circle sweep that we take at the top of our yoga mat, but keeping that hinge to your body, circle sweep your hands to reach overhead. Big breath in. Now we're going to tip into left leg and fly, airplane pose. Take your time to draw yourself forward. Give yourself a moment to arrive here. A little bit of softness in your left knee, use your core to bring your right leg up with you to stand. One-legged Tadasana, big breath. On your out breath, twist to your right, so towards your lifted legs, and your right hand back, your left hand forward. You can stay here as the open arms, or your left hand can go to your right thigh to facilitate that deeper twist. And from here, we're going to unwind into a warrior three. So as your right leg goes back, reach your hands forward overhead. You can always go back to airplane instead. And high crescent lunge, place your right toes to the earth. Lift up through hardened hands. Left hand grabs your right wrist, take a side bend over to the left. On your inhale, lengthen back to your center. On your exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Dip your right knee down towards a hover. You can also bring your right knee to the earth, pulling your front ribs in. Navel to spine, take a full breath in here. And a full breath out here. Back to your airplane lunge just for a moment, whether your back knee's on the earth or lifted, you're gonna hinge your heart forward. So right knee can be on the ground, or you can lengthen out to your right leg. Bring your right palm to the earth and twist your heart to the left. Left hand reaches to the sky. We're gonna take a horizon lunge just for a moment, turn all 10 toes to the left. Maybe wiggle your left foot back a little bit so you can find the outside edges of both feet. Heart is open. Optional dip of your hips, maybe reach your left hand to the top of your yoga mat on your inhale. As we exhale, we're going to lift our hips and go to side plank. Step your left foot back to meet your right. They can stack, or you can stagger your left foot in front of your right. Find your inhale. And exhale, thread your left hand underneath your right ribs. Reach. Breathe in to peel back open. On your exhale, find your high plank slowly. Now you choose this time, you can take a chaturanga or you can go directly to down dog. Maybe you inhale forward and exhale through your flow. Otherwise, you can just go directly to downward dog. Okay. In your downward dog, go ahead and take a big breath in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale, letting go. Just gonna finish up second side, and we'll find our way to the earth. When you're ready, your breath will lift your left leg up to the ceiling. On breath out, take left knee towards right tricep. Left knee, left tricep on your inhale. And to your right tricep as you exhale. Fallen triangle, extend through your left leg. Spin open, try to recruit more left obliques and inner right thigh, so it's not just your left wrist. Full inhale at the top, thread your right hand underneath your left ribs as you exhale. Peeling back open, right hand finds the sky. Then three-legged dog. Lift your left leg up to the ceiling and bend your knee and open your hip. From here, your left foot's going to take a big step forward. Allow your right heel to rotate down to the earth. Sink through your hips, warrior two, press through your feet to rise on up. Adjust and settle, just take one full cycle of breath. Maybe your exhale, let your shoulders soften away from your ears. And inhale, reverse your warrior. Feel the length along your left side. Exhale, side angle. Right hand reaching. One more round. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Then exhale, side angle or extended side angle. This time, reverse your triangle. Third breath in pulls us up. And through your star pose, turn open. And wide-legged forward fold, sink down. This be a pause for you to deepen, inhale and exhale once again. And then as you are ready, a breath will lengthen you halfway. We're going to turn to the top of our yoga mat once again. Rotate your toes to face forward. Feet hips distance. Pressing through your feet, your airplane lunge. Again, you can stay here. Or maybe you inhale, circle, sweep your hands overhead to your reaching crescent. And with exhale, we'll tip forward to fly, airplane pose. Big, big push through your right leg. Going slow and strong. Trying to find length and buoyancy here. Whenever you're ready to rise up to your one-legged Tadasana, you can find a little softness to your right knee if you like. Use your core to bring your left leg up with you. Breath in at the top, twisting to your left. You can decide to either keep your arms open, maybe right hand grabs your left thigh. And one more breath here. Super slow. We're going warrior three. So you're unwinding on one leg from your twist. So really take your time to shift your gaze. And then hands go forward, left leg goes back. You can always take your hands beside you instead. Crescent lunge, place your left toes to the earth. Big breath in as you rise up. Right hand grabs left wrist, take a side bend, tipping to your right side just for a moment. And as you inhale back through center, hands to heart, maybe dip your left knee to a hover or all the way to the earth. And think about drawing your front ribs to the back of your body so much. You get a really big stretch to the front of your left hip. And this pulling in of your front ribs might kind of start to round your spine. So can you keep that engagement at the center, but then lift your heart up from there? Proud through your torso. Back knee can stay down, or if it's lifted, keep it lifted. We're going to that airplane lunge once again, lengthening through the back leg as you tip forward. Left hand finds the earth, twisted low lunge, reach your right hand to the sky. Horizon lunge, turn your toes to the right. Adjust your right foot as much as you need, open through your heart. Option one time sink and reach to the back of your yoga mat. On your exhale, as you lift up through your hips, side plank, right foot steps back. Good, inhale here. Exhale, thread your right hand underneath your left ribs. As you breathe in, peel back open. Exhale to your high plank with control. Follow your breath in to shift forward. Now we're lowering all the way to our bellies one more time. As controlled as you can to the earth. And tucking your toes. Go ahead and inhale to your low or high cobra. Think about pulling your ribcage out of pelvis. And exhale to the earth. We're going to return to our Sphinx pose. One more time. Elbows beneath your shoulders. Push the earth away. Forearms are two parallel lines. Feel free to stay here. Collarbones wide, or if you want to, you can return to your forearm plank. Maybe tuck your toes, your inhale. And zip up as you exhale. Now you can stay in your forearm plank, or if you'd like to, you can walk your toes into dolphin pose. So keeping your forearm plank integrity, elbows stacked directly, elbows stay about shoulders distance apart. So keep squeezing your biceps towards the midline. Push down and forward through your elbows. Hips to the sky, wherever you are. Take 2 more breaths. After your second breath, or when you're ready, we'll meet in a child's pose. Knees to the earth, hips to your heels, breathe. You can also take your hands back by your feet, back by your heels, to release your shoulders. And slowly make your way up to a seat. Before we lie down, we're going to take one seated stretch. You have a couple options. I'm going to move us towards frog pose, but you could also take a seated butterfly, Baddha Konasana, or a wide-legged forward fold, a seated wide-legged forward fold. So option for butterfly, or wide-legged forward fold, or for frog pose. Frog pose is kind of a little bit funky to get into. It's not everyone's favorite, but I like to start from a tabletop. And then depending on your surface area, some people like to have one knee on their yoga mat and one knee off so they can slide that knee that's not on their yoga mat wide. But you're going to basically start to slide your knees wide. Flexing through your feet, you want your knees to be in 90-degree bends. So from your ankle joint to your knee joint to your hip joint, you're creating 2 90-degree bends. You can stay on your hands. You can come down to your forearms. Some people like to drop it to their chest. That's what it looks like from the front. And then from the side. Whatever hip opening, double external hip opener you've chosen, take 2 to 3 more breaths. Be patient with your body as it opens. You can stay longer where you're at if you're ready to come out for the frog pose. Again, it's going to offer to come out. You can either push up and slide your knees together. I usually bring my toes to touch and I exit through like a child's pose shape through my hips and just walk it back. Now really gently bring yourself to a seat. Scooch forward so you're at the top of your yoga mat and you have room to lie down. And then However you'd like to find your way to the earth. If you do not want to use your core, just hug your knees in and tip back. If you'd like to use your core on heel anchors or boat pose or whatever feels good for you for a controlled descent. Taking a big breath in. When you're ready, use the strength of your center to release you back to the earth. Once we find our way to the back body, we'll reach back into a full body stretch. Reach from your fingers to your toes. Spread your toes wide. Spread your fingers wide. Some circles to your ankles and wrists. And then bring your knees to your chest. Shoulders out of ears. A little rock from side to side. Happy baby pose. Hands to ankles or feet. Let this be a really active happy baby today. So your hands are pulling down as your feet are pressing up. So they're opposing each other. And think about using your glute strength, your outer glute strength, to pull your knees wide. So your seat is strong here. Your glutes are drawing your knees open as you find that push and pull between hands and feet. Think about spreading your sits bones wide with your glute strength. And then as you release your knees to your chest, take your time to drop your knees over to the left into a gentle twist. Knees stacked. You could also take an eagle leg twist if you'd like to wrap your right leg around your left. And then you feel complete in your first set of your twists, unwind and bring yourself through center. Pause for your inhale. And then drop your knees to the right as you exhale. So again, either a gentle twist or eagle leg twist, whatever you want. Allow your energy to settle once again, just like that sand, finding its way back to the ocean floor. Back into stillness and steady. Noticing if your mind has already started to wander, just reminding yourself that you can afford these last few minutes of your practice being present, completely in tune with this moment here and now. Anything that needs to get done will be done. For these last few minutes, you just get to be here with your body, forming this relationship, this connection. With something that feels really loving and nurturing and kind. And so, as you continue to check in with your body, to trust in your body, and you're ready to come back through center, take your time to unwind. Take one more shape that can be either just knees to chest, nose to knees. If you want to take a plow pose or a butterfly pose, maybe add that in, bridge, whatever you want. Taking about 3 to 5 cycles of breath. And then at the end of those 3 to 5 breaths, making your way to Shavasana. Feel free to start to move there a little bit sooner if you're ready to release now. And then as you find your way down to the earth and into whatever shape you'd like to rest in, you take one deep breath in through your nose. And one open mouth exhale, letting go. As you start to come back to your breath, letting every breath in get a little bit fuller, and every breath out a little bit longer. Allowing your breath to clear away anything else that's moving through your mind that is able to be set aside, making more space for a clear thought. As you set aside distractions and the clutter, as you let any lingering tension or tightness melt away from your body. You can either stay exactly as you are, or you can start to bring some movement back in. Reawakening in whatever way feels natural and organic in your anatomy today. Maybe a big breath to reach your hands overhead. And then your exhale, just let your hands find their way to your heart. Seat of love and compassion within the body. And we take this final moment to pause, to recognize the time and the intention that you devoted to your practice today, the time and intention that you devoted to relationship with body and breath today. And so in recognition of the time, the intention that you spent here, but also an acknowledgement of the ancient roots of the practice itself, we'll take one more deep breath together. Okay, inhale fully through your nose. And exhale out of your mouth. May yoga offer us a path to compassion. May our practices serve as our teachers,
that guides in living more authentically and loving more deeply. Thank you so much, and namaste.